Let's talk kitchen, outhouse and downstairs toilet. There isn't actually that much that needs to be done. Some of the jobs are my jobs, some aren't, but sometimes you've got to pick your battles and decide which ones are worth fighting for, especially when you know what people can be like. Anyway, let's get into it. So I'm going to start in my kitchen. It's not a big kitchen, but I actually quite like it. So I'm not overly upset over a lot of things. There are a few things I'd like to change, but I'm not overly upset over a lot of it. But let me flip the camera around and show you what my kitchen looks like and what jobs need to be done. So this is my kitchen door. It's fine, absolutely fine. Could do another lick of paint, but not overly that big a problem. I put a clock at the top because I love having the clock in the kitchen. The paint job, whoever did the paint job, didn't do a great job, unfortunately. And I don't think that they used kitchen paint, because this has happened when I cleaned my light switch. Now I've just used antibacterial cleaning spray, nothing toxic, absolutely fine, and it works on all the other light switches I do, but here it took the paint off. So I really need to repaint the kitchen. I don't think they use kitchen paint because it doesn't look very good, the paint job. So I think they've just used a basic wall paint, where with a kitchen, you ideally need to use kitchen paint. So obviously there's been some kind of bracket at the top. I'm just going to fill those holes in and paint over them. I don't need anything there. I don't quite know what they would have put there, because curtains in a kitchen doesn't work, so I don't quite know what that's about. They have a Venetian blind, which I don't like. I don't like Venetian blinds, but it's clean and it works, so we're not going to change it. The windowsill does need a lick of paint. As you can see, it's got all these marks on it. It just needs a lick of paint, nothing major, so that's easy enough to be done. The washing machine I bought because the last one, it was smoking, and even though the washing machine was already here when I came into the property, unfortunately, my mistake, I didn't actually tell the landlord. I just bought a new one. I think my mother instincts kicked in and I was like, I need to do the washing, I need to get my son's school clothes ready, so I just bought a new one. So my fault, should have told him beforehand, but I didn't, so I will hold my hands up there. The oven doesn't work. Even if I set the time on it, it does not work. And that again is not worth a fight. So right now my son and I are using the air fryer, the slow cooker, the microwave, and when I can find a good deal and I can afford it, because I've got a few things I need to pay out for, I'm going to buy myself a mini oven, which I can just take with me if and when I leave the property. And this one I can just leave for someone else's problem. The kitchen cupboards, I think this is just more kind of wear and tear just here. I really want to get those stickers that you kind of put on the door just to cover up those bits really. But I think this is just more wear and tear. I do have a leak in the sink, and I actually think it's the sink because I put some water down to clean the blockage of drains, like you do. Everybody cleans the drains now and again, don't they? And as I was doing it, I was cleaning out the kitchen sink. I know it's messy, I need to tidy it up. And water was actually coming through the sink. I did think it was the washing machine, but I tightened up all the pipes and everything that needs to do. So I actually think it's a sink problem, but that is being looked at. So hopefully that will be done soon. The doors aren't very good. The hinges are a little bit iffy, and obviously we've got this on the cupboards as well. Now, what I'm aware of is that the kitchen cupboards on this side as well, before I moved in, were taken out and new ones were meant to be put in, but the ones that they got didn't fit. So they put these ones back in, and I don't think they've done a very good job of putting them back, because this one, the cupboard, it just shuts on its own. There, that just shuts all by itself. I've tried to tighten the hinges. I honestly think it needs new hinges. And again, the drawers and the doors, it's just wear and tear, I think, on the bottom. And I just need to get those stickers to put over the door to make it look a little bit better. And again, the skirting boards and all could do with a nice paint. Now, when it comes to this one, this cupboard here, I don't know, I've tried to cover it with food, but as you can see, it hasn't been put in correctly. It does hold, it is holding absolutely fine, but it's not been put in correctly there. So I'm trying to use up all the food on the top. I've only put light stuff on the top so I can try and keep stuff off of it, just to be on the safe side really. I've got pasta and stuff which isn't that heavy, but I'm just trying to keep the light stuff at the top so that it doesn't break, because it is a worry of mine. But other than that, it looks fine. Now the floor could do with having a new floor, but it's doable and it's fine. And again, unless I do it myself, I don't think it's going to get done. So it's easy just to keep it clean, keep it tidy, and do the best I can with what I got. But in general, I think it just needs some stickers on the doors, and it just needs a lick of paint. And that's pretty much it. And I just need to fill those holes up there. But other than that, the kitchen's not too bad. So let me show you the outhouse. So moving into the outhouse, it does need a little bit of work, but not a lot, not major. Again, when I moved in, this was a luminous yellow and I couldn't deal with it at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So we just gave it a very quick lick of white paint, but I need to redo it because if you can see, there's still yellow marks coming through. It was literally just a quick slapdash job of chucking white paint on it. So I need to come back in here and give it another lick of white paint to make it look a bit nicer. I've got some signs here, like rules for kids that I want to put up. The kitchen cupboards look great. Pet peeve of mine, no one's fault. The cupboards are different. They look different. And that annoys me. Because different colours and different shades. But there's plenty of cupboard space, so I'm happy. Obviously, I've got nice sides there. I've just used the iron, that's why it's out, so that will be put away in the cupboard in a little while. I've got my fridge here. It does need a good clean, but again, I've got builders coming through the front to the back to do the roof. Yes, the roof still hasn't been done, but fingers crossed it'll be done this Saturday. As for the back door, I want to get a blind that goes on the back door just there. It's a very enclosed garden and we're very safe, but there's houses at the back and obviously you can see through. So just for my own privacy, I just want to get a blind to go on that wall there. And then I'm probably going to put some kind of picture up here just to give it a little bit of light. But usually I dry some of my washing in here when I've got some space. This pink box here is my shoe box at the moment, so I can get a good one. So I need to paint that again. And then somebody very kindly gifted me this unit, but I've decided that it's not really me and I don't like it. So I'm going to give it a bit of a clean up and I'm going to pass it on to somebody else. But then all this here is just junk that I need to tidy up. And I've got my mop here. So I just need to find some better places to store all of this. Now, usually as well, I store my areas in here, but I've just moved them out of the way so I can show you the space. And then it just needs a bit of a clean. The floor just needs a clean more than anything. So not overly big stuff. And then we've got the downstairs loo. Now, as you can see, where this is come all the way across, if you open the door too far, it's marking the door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little door stop. So when it opens, it only stops there, so that it's not going to keep hitting that and making a mark on the door. The downstairs toilet I don't use at the moment. So it's got my paint in and it's got some loo rolls in. Even though this window is only a very small window, I would like to have a little blind to go on there because it faces out the front. So if you're in the loo and you've got the light on and it's dark, you can see through. Granted, you can't actually see the person because it's a frosted glass, but I just rather not have it open. So I don't know if I can get a blind that small. Do let me know if I can. Again, it just needs a lick of paint and a bit of a clean. I like the shelf, so I'm going to put some plants on there when I've got this painted. I'm going to get just some plain magnolia to paint in here. Obviously, the flush doesn't have a lid thing on it, but it still flushes and it's a functionable toilet. The only problem I've got is this here. So I've got these bits here that I can't get off. Obviously they've had something on there and a mirror, I'm assuming, and they've stuck a mirror on, and where they've ripped the mirror off, they've took the wall out a little bit, so that needs filling, but these have all stayed on there. So if I just sanded that down, would that work, or do I need something particular to take that off with? Let me know what to do there. And again, the sink is a functioning sink. I was going to get, when I finished the painting, something to put underneath there, like a cabinet or something, just to put under there, just so it looks a little bit better. But again, we're not using this toilet at the moment. We're keeping it clean, flushing it often, because just the privacy thing just there, really. So I need to get a little blind there. So that is my downstairs loo. So for once, actually, those parts of the house aren't that bad. It just needs a lick of paint and a bit of a clean and a bit of an organise, really. I don't know what to do with that downstairs loo with those sticky bits. So if anybody can give me some advice on those things, that would be really helpful. And again, sometimes it's just picking your battles, isn't it? Which ones are going to be easier for you to do and which ones are a legal right of somebody else. So we'll keep going. I've got a couple more rooms to show you. Next week is the last week of me showing you the dining room, which I have been waiting till last, because like the bathroom, it's not my favourite room, and the office and the landing. I'm going to show you all those next week. And then I'm actually starting decorating this weekend. Hopefully the roof will be done this weekend. Yes, I'm still waiting. Unfortunately, the weather hasn't been great and hasn't been on our side either. And the one day that they could do it, I unfortunately wasn't available for them to do it either. So it's no one's fault. It's just one of those things. But I'm really hoping it gets done, because the weather and the rain, it's just making a mess inside my house, which is making me feel very down about it. So I feel very down with certain things that's happening in the house. But hopefully, I'm hoping that when things are getting fixed, then I'm hoping that things will change a little bit, because my landlord is actually a very lovely man. There are other people that aren't, but he is a very, very kind and lovely man. And I think he has the biggest heart of gold ever. But just things in the house just aren't getting done in the time frame I would like them done, and I'm just feeling a bit sad about it. But hopefully, fingers crossed, that things are going to get done very soon and we can make a nice fresh start. So let me know what you think. As for the paint in the kitchen, I'm obviously going to do it with kitchen paint, properly. But what colour? Should I stick with the grey? Or shall I go with magnolia? And the outhouse, I'm just going to do magnolia. And I think the downstairs loo, I'm just going to do magnolia as well. Just something very plain and simple, nothing major. Just keep it like a very neutral colour and then put decoration to it. But do I do the same in the kitchen, or do I stick with the same colour it is now and like a grey colour, but buy kitchen paint so that it actually works better in the kitchen? I'd love to know your thoughts, so let me know in the comments below what you think and any other suggestions you have, because your suggestions have been great. And like I said before, I've made a big list of all the things I want to decorate, and I'm getting started this weekend with it now, because things are quietening down a little bit for me. So I really do appreciate you coming along on this journey with me. It's been so helpful for me and such a good learning experience as well. So thank you again for sharing this journey with me. I really do appreciate it. If you've liked today's video, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to share it with a friend. If they're in the middle of decorating their house and need some budget-friendly ideas, or just need someone to share the journey with as they do theirs too. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos from me. I hope whenever you're watching this, you're having a good morning, good day, good evening, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.